First off, let me give a shout out to everybody who's been sending me stuff as far as updates concerning the whole Amber Geiger trial. It's kind of, I know I said I would stay up to date with everything like that, but be honest with you, it's kind of hard because it's like you have to follow this every single day because it's not a day in between where it's not going on, except for probably the weekends if it carries over into another week. So I have to give a shout out to the people that's constantly sending me updates or tagging me in various posts. Second, let me just state the obvious. This bitch looks miserable right now. She looks drained of life, and that is how we want her to be. We want her to be as miserable as possible. No sense of comfort for her whatsoever. Now, the third thing I want to talk about before I get into this next update is something that I wish I could have mentioned in the first video I did involving her and this relationship she had with this other cop on the force. So apparently it came out that the text messages that were sent between these two individuals, Amber Geiger and this cop that she was having relations with, those messages got deleted. Excuse me. They were deleted. And based on what I found out from an attorney on Twitter by the name of Esley Marion, some of you may have heard of him, that's illegal. Like, that's basically basically discarding of evidence, because that could have been used right there. But they said that those messages and probably those pictures that she sent were not found. They removed them. They deleted them. And I think that was after the fact. They're coddling this chick. They want, like I said, they want her to walk so bad. They really do. But anyway, this update I'm about to bring to you right now is going to actually talk about this body cam footage that they released during the trial when the other Dallas police went into Botham Jean's apartment after the shooting occurred. So I'm going to play this clip for you from ABC News, and then we'll discuss.
Dramatic body cam video of that trial of a former Dallas police officer. She's charged with murder in the shooting death of her neighbor. She says she entered his apartment, mistaking the apartment for her own. The video showing officers rushing to the scene, running through the hall to the victim's apartment. The officer who fired her weapon was right there. ABC's Marcus Moore inside the courtroom today.
Tonight, for the first time, we are seeing the chaos and confusion from multiple viewpoints the night Dallas police responded to Amber Geiger's frantic 911 call. She had just shot and killed 26-year-old Botham Jean inside his own home. The powerful and sometimes graphic images show the desperate race to reach the fourth floor and that sprint down a long hallway where they encounter their now former colleague. Several officers taking turns performing CPR on Jean. And prosecutors highlighting this video to suggest Geiger received preferential treatment, not isolated initially, and here seen hugging a fellow officer. Even allowed to sit in a patrol car looking at her phone while Jean was rushed to the hospital. Geiger claims after an almost 14-hour workday, she mistakenly went to the wrong floor of her apartment building. When she walked into what she thought was her home and saw someone inside, she assumed it was an intruder and opened fire. But today, prosecutors pressed one responding officer about the protocol when an officer believes that a burglary is in progress.
What do you do?
You cover and concealment.
Is that because of the sanctity of human life?
Yes, sir.
And David, investigators spent the second day of this trial really trying to portray Geiger as reckless. They called several witnesses to the stand who testified they heard 2 gunshots, but never heard verbal commands. And David, as you know, this case may very well hinge on whether the jurors believe Geiger feared for her life when she walked through that door. David?
All right, Marcus Moore live in Dallas tonight. Marcus, thank you.
Okay, so you just heard that clip right there. And let me just tell you, watching the body cam footage of what was going on inside the apartment, because you can't see it because you can only hear it. You can actually see them trying to administer CPR to this guy. Like, it is very hard to watch, and it's very even more annoying to hear her be so overly dramatic as if she is trying to be this helpless person. And let me tell you something right now. This chick was putting on a act. Okay. She was trying to get an Emmy, a Golden Globe, a SAG Award, and an Oscar all at one time, all the acting awards in that one scene right there, pretending like she was actually showing some concern. And then, yes, they did show the clip when the other cops walked outside. It was like 4 guys and they each pretty much hugged her. And then to see the clip of her get in the police car, get on her phone, and then to the left of the screen, you can see the other responding emergency personnel pulling Botham John's body out on that gurney while she just sat in her car and got on her phone and probably got what? Text somebody, called somebody, maybe got on social media. This bitch has no regard for any type of life. Just watching that made me hate her ass even more. Y'all can go ahead and watch that if you want to. But the fact first off, they consoled a murderer. That lets you know how deep that blue wall is, or should I say how high and how thick that wall is. And look at her. She's a white woman, a young white woman who is just aging by the day because of misery. I hope the worst happens to this chick. I really do. I really do. She deserves any type of punishment, consequence, whatever you want to call it, possible for what she did. And they're going to sit up there and try to lie and try to have us garner sympathy for her. I have no sympathy for her whatsoever. I feel nothing. Whatever happens to her in the worst way possible, let it happen. It is what it is. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.